So we left off talking about the prequels, and I think I was gonna jump in with something about a particular use of the music and clever use of the music, but then you started talking about something, and I get a feeling you might have been going down the same path as me, but I've had this feeling before, and it's been completely wrong. So I'm just going to let you get on
Yeah.
with it and say what you're going
Okay.
to say.
I mean, I was going to talk about the only really good bit of music in the prequels, which is the Duel of the Fates.
Oh, come, it's not the only. No, that's unfair.
All right, the standout stuff.
Yes, it is.
But
I
it's
mean, it's not just a standout from that either, is it? It's a standout from. I think I may have said this before, but that music is used very widely for very many different things. I know, put it this way, I know of at least 2 football teams who walk out to that music.
oh really?
They
Oh.
happen to be, and they happen to be the 2 teams that are supported in my household. Tottenham Hotspur
Oh,
walk out to it, and Sheffield United walk out to it.
really? The Duel of the
Yep,
Fates.
yep. Or at least they did.
Mm.
Last time I went to see either of them, I don't think they'll have changed too much. There is we do have a friend, close friend, who can back me up on at least one of those, and I know several people who are season ticket holders at Bramall Lane who I will double check that with, but I'm fairly certain that is still the case.
Fair enough.
Mm.
Whatever happened to You'll Never Walk Alone and all that bollocks? I don't know football music.
Clearly. Clearly. I mean, your reference that you have used there, all that bollocks. That was
all that bollocks.
It's a different football. There are different football teams, Stefan. That is a different football team entirely. That is
Yeah, I
Liverpool.
know. I know.
Liverpool. Yeah.
That's the
Unfortunately,
only
no,
one I
Tottenham.
know.
We've not really we've got like songs that we have that are traditional songs, but we've never really had something traditionally that we walk out to. Not really. So,
Oh,
but yeah. Anyway, so yes, Duel of the Fates. I agree, but there's loads
yeah.
of other good music. There's loads of other good music in the prequels,
Yeah. All right.
particularly
Okay.
particularly your old favourite, Qui-Gon's funeral.
Oh yeah. Spoiler
Ruined the
music.
film for you before you'd see. You're like looking around the cinema. But it's all right, guys. I've got the soundtrack. He dies, by
Yeah.
the way.
I can tell you what happens musically. I've been clued into this.
Or at the
Actually, I
very
noticed
least, he
on.
has a funeral.
Well, yeah, it could be his funeral that he has for a friend. Could be, you know,
It's
not
banned, isn't
necessarily
it?
him.
Funeral for a
That's
friend.
yeah, it is. Yeah, maybe he's like an emo guy. We don't know what this Qui-Gon character's like yet. But I did notice actually the A New Hope soundtrack has a track called Ben's Death or something like that as well.
Yeah. Thankfully.
So Williams just can't help himself, can he?
No. Well, I think the other piece of music particularly I was going to mention from the prequels is and I can't remember. I should have looked this up before we recorded this. I apologise for my piss poor preparation.
Terrible.
But I think the one about it's literally like Anakin and Obi-Wan fight.
Oh yeah,
Which is
yeah.
an outstanding piece of music. Absolutely
That's
outstanding
true.
piece of music. As so, and this is the thing, like to find anything that's like sort of lesser, like you're really nitpicking.
Yeah.
Like even like the comical, like the Cantina Band stuff.
That's awesome.
It does what it's supposed to do. It's good fun.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, I'll rephrase that. The only prequel song that I did any research on. That's
Duel of the Fates. When you say only
yeah.
prequel that you did any research on, it's the only one you just double checked the title of it to make sure you didn't say it wrong.
That's half of the research. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's and again, I have to credit some external sources on this, but I mean, there was so much about that song I didn't realize. Like the words they sing in it are actual real words. You know, they're like rah, 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 rah.
Yeah, it's a choir.
They're actually written words.
Yeah, of
It's
course
not
it is.
just sounds.
We just get a choir in a room and say, right, we need you to make some noise here, guys.
Yeah, well, I've thought some of it. You do get other stuff like that where they just
Not John
sometimes
Williams
it's just
and
sounds.
Star Wars.
Well, some songs are in Alien, for God's sake. But this, I don't know if you know, it's the words. It's the words to a Celtic poem, an epic Celtic poem but translated into Sanskrit. And it's so there you go. How no one does. No one does except
No one
me
does,
and the
apart from
guy
me.
whose
I worked
video
it
I
out.
watched. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hang on, that sounds like Sanskrit. Let me just translate that. God, it reminds me of a poem.
No one
Yeah,
knows it
so
apart from me and the 10 million people who viewed that video on YouTube as well.
No, definitely not. So it's sung text from that epic poem, and the point on the that the chap was making was that translation of Celtic into Sanskrit is part of the motif of instability that the Duel of the Fates provides us. You know, like the light side against the dark.
About? You
Come
tell
on,
me, do you know what you're talking about?
Yes, very much so.
Explain it to me. Come on.
All right. Okay. So it's words to a Celtic poem translated into Sanskrit.
You mentioned that 3 times now.
Well, I don't know many other ways I could say it. And that creates sort of an inherent tension, which is come on, fuck off.
Would you like to move on?
No, I'm going to finish this thought. And what I'm saying is the music, because of that, is I can't remember my words anymore.
This is like watching someone who's been pulled up for having someone else do their homework for them. Like,
I should have listened.
Shit.
I should have listened harder. But it's not just the singing. There's loads of stuff in that arrangement which is all about instability. The way that music builds up, it breaks down, it builds up again. It's all about this instability and this conflict. And obviously, the whole thing's about conflict, and it's using opposing ideas, which is meant to represent Jedi versus Sith. That's what I'm trying to say.
There you go. We got there in the end.
Conclusion. Thank you. Imbalance, power, and imbalance, and instability.
Opposing ideas.
Yes.
Clashing.
There you
clashing.
Go.
Like
Christ,
lightsabers clashing in the night.
I'm going to resign from my post as music teacher at Cambridge University tomorrow.
Music teacher.
Music,
not professor, not lecturer, not professor, not doctor. Music. I'm a teacher.
This is when you go beyond. Yeah, in a way, aren't we all teachers? I like it. You could be head of philosophy.
Probably. God, I think my head of philosophy. I'd literally just walk into a lecture theatre and just be like, right, and then ask a question and sit back for 55 minutes and be like, come on, answer, come on, mull it over.
Walk in and just go, why? Just sit down and watch them all write an essay on it.
Let's think about our place, and then just sit there for 50 odd minutes. Right, okay. You thought good,
genius.
Right, go away. Write me an essay.
It's basically philosophy, isn't it?
Yeah, essentially.
Nailed it.
Okay, Duel of the Fates was on my list of things to mention. Well done for bringing it up and explaining it so brilliantly to us.
But were you going to say all that stuff that I said?
No. I don't copy other people's work, Stefan.
I'm referencing. I acknowledged my source.
You did. You have acknowledged him. He's done very well. Well done.
Yes. Get him on the show and I'll say sorry to him.
Yeah. Just say, excuse me, instead of just ripping you off next time, could you come and help? Thank you.
Yeah.
No, so we spoke about Anakin and Obi-Wan's battle. I mean, the music in that is fantastic. And there's a particular use of music. I think I mentioned it in a previous episode, whereby I think it comes down to that thing of changing the composition slightly and maybe using different keys and whatever else. But I don't think it is. I think it's actually just like for like. But there's a bit in Attack of the Clones, or Attack of the Drones, as my wife calls it, where
it's a better title, to be fair.
I don't mind it. Where he's on Tatooine, and he's going off to save. Or he thinks he's going off to save his mother. Obviously, he doesn't manage it. But on the way out, he rides out to Luke's theme. On the way back, he rides back to Vader's theme.
Nice.
Because it's like, just to highlight the fact that is the moment, one of the many moments, but
A defining
pivotal
point.
Yeah, pretty pivotal
Yeah.
moment in which he's gone from light to dark, if indeed he ever was actually light. Actually,
Ooh.
yeah, young Anakin was lighter than light. Bloody annoying, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Self-righteous bastard. Anyway, right, music. Having a go at annoying tune. It's unfair.
Enough of that in our day jobs.
Yeah. Don't know about you. I'd like to distance myself from these comments at this moment, just to let you know.
That's not what you were saying before.
No. So wider universe. Wider universe.
Hmm.
Let's have a look at some tunes from that, because I think it'd be nice to acknowledge that Star Wars music is not just John Williams, although
Yes,
large, let's face it, will forever be synonymous with him, and it's hard to think about anything else, quite frankly.
Yeah,
But I've got a few very honourable mentions that I'd like to say, because in the last few years, particularly with the dawn of Disney and the series and whatever else, we've got some, maybe, I don't know, it's still sort of orchestral music, but a little bit more modern, maybe a little bit more electronic. So the two things I'm thinking about are the theme tunes for Mandalorian and Boba Fett, or the Book of Boba Fett, which both are, I think, really good, just really good pieces of instrumental music. Actually, they're not just instrumental, are they? Particularly I don't know what the Boba Fett one is. It sounds like throat singing or something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Bum.
Guttural.
But is there anything other than those two that you think of when you go a little bit outside the box?
I do want to give a shout out to Mandalorian as well, like you said, because it's got that plays on the Western themes a lot more. And one of my other favourite composers for film is Ennio Morricone, who did the Fistful of Dollars trilogy and loads of different movies. So I love how it kind of leans into that Western, like the old West kind of music. So I'm with you on that one. We spoke in our Rogue One episode about Michael Giacchino's arrangement for that film, which
we did.
We said was different to Williams, and gave us a flavour of something else, but also wasn't quite on par. I think was certainly my
which is harsh criticism.
Well, the bar's too high, I think, is the problem.
Ridiculously high in that instance.
Yeah. I've been, as I've said in the last couple of episodes, I've been watching a bit more of the animated Star Wars shows. So I've been enjoying Kevin Kiner, I think, is the guy who's done Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
He's also done the upcoming Ahsoka series music, so we get to hear that a bit more in a live action setting as well. So yeah, there's a couple I'd call out as in the non-Williams canon. I'm sure there's a few other guys out there, but those are the ones who have kind of stuck out for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're spot on with that. There's a couple of the series, actually. I think I mentioned it before about the playlist on Apple Music, like the best of Star Wars or something. There's a few tracks on there from Rebels and Bad Batch and things like that.
Yeah,
just really good pieces of music, basically. Again, not John Williams, and unfortunately, ridiculously high bar that it is. Not quite to that level, but really good. Actually, one thing I haven't mentioned is Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Oh yeah, the Kenobi series.
The theme from that is very, very, very nice. I like it. I think I had it as my alarm music for a few weeks.
Oh.
Until what inevitably happens with my alarm music, I start to get to the point where I go from enjoying it to hating it.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Well, you get so used to it, it doesn't wake you up anymore.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
No, I don't.
No.
There's one piece of music that I've had as my alarm music, or alarm call, should we say, over the years, that's consistently there that I really enjoy having it, and it's the Jurassic Park theme.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, to wake up to that, it's just like, oh yeah, that's nice.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
unless I've had like 4 hours sleep, in which I still want to at the wall.
Fuck off, T-Rex.
Oh, yeah.
I don't give a shit about your embryos.
More John Williams, though. More John Williams.
Yeah.
He's
so recognizable, so iconic, that music.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man. Unbelievable.
Brilliant. Absolutely bloody brilliant. But yeah, I've lost that. I've run out of superlatives to say about John Williams. And whatever else.
Pretty good.
He's all right. He's done well, the lad.
Yeah.
He's done well. So yes. So have you got any other things in your notes that you'd like to add?
Well, I think
anybody else's work you'd like to rip off?
No. Original thoughts coming now.
Come on then.
I think it's fair to bring in some expert opinion. Yeah. So listeners might have heard us mention that we like The Empire Strikes Back. We're quite fond of that movie.
It's not bad, is it?
It's okay. Well, it turns out the soundtrack's bloody good as well. So I was having a good old listen to it, and I think it's actually the best of the soundtracks as well as the best of the films.
Well,
there are some jams on there.
Some jams.
Oh, I could list a few.
Go on then.
Got the heroics of Luke and Han. That's a great one.
Mm.
Departure of Boba Fett. Hyperspace. The
heroics of Luke and Han, is that part of the Hoth stuff?
Yes.
Is that when they're searching for him?
I think
it's
so.
like the slightly faster paced.
Some of it is. I mean, this is the weird thing: is some of it is multiple movie scenes mashed into one track. And this is another point I wanted to make. Is when I first started listening to the CDs, I thought I had my player on shuffle because what order are these in? And then you look at the songs, and they are not in the order that they're in the movie. And if you noticed that, like it's all jiggled around. I was like, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
There's a I was listening to. I was streaming them rather than having CDs, but there's
20th century.
I think the thing I've got for Empire, like Yoda's theme, is like the second track on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that right?
It's all over the shop.
Is that the same thing you've got?
Yeah. So all of them are all totally out of order, and I thought that's very odd, but they're not meant to be watched because I was trying to listen to them as the soundtrack to the film in the order that I know the songs and picture the action, but they're not. I mean, for a start, not all the music that's in the film are on the discs, and the order of the tracks are picked to give the best pleasure out listening to it as an album, so to give variety. So that's why they appear out of order and why bits are different. But I mean, you mentioned streaming. I was playing some on Spotify, and weirdly, some of the instrumental songs have got lyrics on Spotify, even though there's no lyrics to the songs. They're instrumental.
As in lyrics in terms of like you can view the lyrics, not hear them.
Yeah. You can view the written lyrics on Spotify.
How?
I don't know where they've come from or who's done them, but
I don't know where you came from or who you think you are.
Yeah, exactly. And also how some of the songs are completely different from the movie versions. So there's on the Return of the Jedi, there's a Jabba's Palace song, which has got a whole weird, not the stupid CGI bullshit from.
We haven't spoken about that. And I don't think we should. I don't think
no.
This is if we'll mention this very briefly because I don't want to be too negative. But if we're talking about low points, that.
Yeah, but the album version is different to that. It's much, much better. I don't know if they reissued.
Why the fuck didn't they put that in the film?
CD. Well, I don't know, but it's so much better the album version. And also, speaking of Return of the Jedi music, Justice for Yub Nub, he knows,
which is a great tune and should never have been left out.
Belter, Justice for Yub Nub, taking it out of the film.
They could have had that, like they still could have rejigged the scene, but kept it. I know. Just come on,
ruined. But the album version's so good. You get a few more Ewoks in there, giving it some. Like dabba 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 dabba, all this kind of stuff. Love it. Have that on repeat. That is good.
Is it the one
stuff.
that's? It's got like the. It starts with like an
It's
Ewok
like a
going,
few flutes, or there's a bit of noise and It's not actually called Yub Nub. If anyone's looking for it, it's called
the Ewok celebration song. or
Ewok
something like that.
celebration or party or something like that. Yeah, it's got a proper name.
Yeah.
We know it as Yub Nub. It's awesome.
You don't you
Just
bring
me.
me into your sordid world.
Oh, come on. You love my Yub Nub. You can't get enough of it.
Well, we've moved on to an area that I don't again. Goodness.
Again. Embrace it.
Goodness me. Go on then. Wait, hang on. You sound like you've got more on your list of things to say.
Well, I was going to give brief mention to sound effects.
Yes,
part of the
go on. Yeah.
The audio color of the movies. So obviously, love, and we talked about Ben Burt, some of the sound design before. What I do want to just briefly mention, because I was having a look on Disney Plus, and I was going to rewatch the whole Empire of Dreams, but couldn't be bothered. But I was looking around for some other documentaries to do with music. There wasn't one specifically on the music, but there was one on the sound effects. And what do they call it? It's called Galaxy of Sounds. And it's a collection of, I think, 7 or 8 mini.
That's quite a new thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very
quite a new thing on Disney Plus.
And it's each one is about 7 or 8 minutes long.
Yeah.
And has a theme, and the theme might be light side or dark side or something like that. But I was transfixed on this because it is scenes from across all the movies, every single one, with no dialogue or other effects, just the sound effects, no music. So actually the score's gone, and you just hear that. And there's a whole there's a lightsaber montage, which is amazing. It's just hundreds of images of lightsabers sparking up. Very, very soothing, very relaxing to watch. Great to see all the visuals in a way you're not seeing them before, just with the sound effects. There's one specifically on droids called Beeps, and I thought, I'll give it a go. It's 7 or 8
Chinese
minutes
water torture.
7 or 8 minutes of my life. Honest to God, 5 seconds I turned it off. Not even for comedic effect. I said to my partner, I was like, I'm gonna sit through it. I want to see what it's, because I've watched all the other ones and I left that one to last because I was putting it off. Literally 5 seconds, you got BB-8 and R2-D2 fucking chirping away going. I was like, no, stop. I'm not having that. I can't do it. I'm not having 8 minutes just of droids beeping away.
You could have listened to Wait for K2SO to walk in and be like, hello.
Well, he doesn't really beep though. It was called Beeps.
Beep. Well, it sounds like that sounds like the opposite. Have you watched the Biomes stuff?
Yeah, that's
kind of almost the opposite of that, where Biomes is like soundless, but you're
that's so relaxing though, don't you find? Just the sweeping vistas and the it's beautiful. Waves lapping on the shores.
Absolutely
lovely.
Is there one of those things that has anything to do with TIE fighter lasers?
There is one. I think it's called Action or Excitement or something like that, and it's all space battles and things.
Yeah, because
there's a lot of laser fire.
A hugely iconic sound.
TIE
fighter lasers. Like the fact it's interesting as well that they've never, whoever else has remade anything, had done anything like that, they've never felt the need to mess around with that. Or maybe they did, but they just decided, actually, no, leave that alone.
We got that right first time round.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I've been rewatching a bit of Andor. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
Why indeed?
And I happen to be watching the episode where they do the heist, which I think is called.
Oh yeah. Imaginative.
And there's obviously TIE fighters in that because they go to stop that, which is, by the way, we're digressing massively away from the topic, but that scene where you see the TIE fighters hanging and like their actual dock, that's fucking brilliant.
That's cool.
Good. I like that. Anyway, but that's for another day. TIE fighter noises, bloody brilliant.
Pew, pew, pew.
Or that. Yes. Whatever that was.
I think you'll find that was movie accurate.
That was spot on. Spot on. Can't tell the difference. Okay, right. Well, I think we've given it a good go in terms of talking about something we have absolutely no fucking idea about. So
Yeah, do you think that came
We've,
across?
no, you sounded like you knew what you're talking about. I just
Yeah.
basically said, yeah, I like this, and I like that, and I like that, and I like this, and I like that.
There's
Oh,
nothing wrong with that.
why'd you like it? I don't know. It's just
Sounds
isn't
good.
it? It's so good.
Your Sheffield mode, is it?
No,
No.
generic Northern.
Just
But anyway, we've done it justice. I think is the long and the short of it. So next week, what are we doing? Thrawn. We're gonna have
is it already?
About our mate Thrawn. Oh no, we're not. Hang on.
No, it's we're talking about the series, aren't we?
I've done it wrong. I've literally.
Why do we even have these spreadsheets?
And I've still done it wrong. We're not doing Thrawn next week. We're doing series. We're going to talk about the series, and we're not going to go into huge detail on them. I don't know why I've said that. Of course, we're going to go into massive detail about it. Because
have you ever listened to the podcast?
We can't stop ourselves. We're going to have a talk about the series, so which will involve. Fill me in if I'm doing anything that I miss. If there's anything I miss, Stefan. What we got? Andor, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's about it today, right?
We're sticking to the live action stuff, aren't we?
Yeah. So forget Bad Batch, Rebels, Clone Wars, and Jedi Tales of the Jedi,
Visions,
or the other thing,
Resistance.
Yeah, those things.
All that gubbins.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the series. Put them in a bit of give them a bit of a ranking.
We love a ranking, don't we?
Oh, we love to rank. Oh, how much we love a good rank.
Oh, could rank you, yub nub.
Oh, God. Right, let's end it there.
Okay.
Right. Send in your thoughts on series if you've got any. And if you want to correct us on anything else we do or anything else you don't like about our attitude. So
yeah, please do share your thoughts on how
miserable
we are.
Turn up next week in a less miserable and cynical mood.
I'm not promising that.
I said I'd endeavour. I didn't say I would.
Okay. No, fair.
I didn't say how hard I'd try.
Best endeavour.
Right. Absolutely. Right. Anyway, Stefan, good night. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Yeah. Thanks, Hutch. Pleasure as always. Cheers, everyone. Bye.